Hi, I'm Schaffer the Darklord. Today we're going to talk about why white vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures have turned yellow over time and what you can do about it. Hit it.
They say collect them all and the prize is we collect all 12 of them guys. Collect all 31, collect all 41, collect all 79. It's really 81. Collect them all and
Hey nerds, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please click like and subscribe, and also hit that bell so you can get notified of upcoming episodes. Over the years, I've often wondered why my vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures turn yellow, specifically the white ones, like Farm Boy Luke, Biker Scout, Stormtrooper, etc. I've learned that this is due to plastic degradation, when the compounds in the plastic break down over time. When Kenner manufactured these toys, they included a bromine flame retardant. And in the nearly 50 years since they were manufactured, the bromine is broken down, causing the figures to turn yellow. Add in exposure to sunlight, and that degradation goes even faster and more severe. But there is something you can do about it. It's a process called retrobrighting, in which the figure is submerged in hydrogen peroxide and then exposed to ultraviolet light. Now, I've never done this before, and I'm a little bit nervous about subjecting my childhood treasure to a chemical process. And since I do not wish the Emperor's prize damaged, we will test it on this guy. I returned to the Museum of Nostalgia in Astoria, Queens, and I picked up a loose vintage Stormtrooper to test this process. First, I need to clean the figure, using a combination of liquid dish soap and warm water, scrubbing gently with a very soft toothbrush. Once the figure is dry, I put it in a mason jar and fill it with 3% USP hydrogen peroxide. You can buy this anywhere, and it's very cheap. I've heard other collectors online refer to the jar full of hydrogen peroxide as a back-to-bath, and I think that is just adorable. Once the figure is locked in the chamber, it needs to be exposed to ultraviolet light. Now, if you don't have access to an ultraviolet light, well, you actually do. It's just sunshine. And now, to reverse the effects of aging, just find a nice sunny spot in your backyard or your porch. I have neither of these because I live in New York City, so I went up to my roof. Place the jar in direct sunlight and leave it there for about 8 hours or so. You'll want to check in on it every couple of hours to see how the whitening process is coming along. And of course, you'll want to stop before it goes too long and the process starts removing paint. It's cheap, it's easy, it just requires a little bit of patience. After 8 hours, I brought my tester Stormtrooper inside, gave it another little scrub down to remove any remaining hydrogen peroxide residue, left it on a clean towel to dry, and behold, just a short amount of time, and that figure is noticeably whiter. Feeling confident with these results, it was time to reset the chamber for Skywalker. I repeated the process, washing these 3 figures, filling the back-to-bath, taking them up to the roof, and letting them bathe in the sun for another 8 hours. But I should confess, when I went to the Museum of Nostalgia and picked up my tester Stormtrooper, I also picked up another entry for my collection. Gotcha. Cloud Car Pilot. We saw this character in Empire Strikes Back as the security force on Bespin, piloting the twin-pod cloud car that escorts the Millennium Falcon when it arrives. We only see this character briefly through the cockpit of the Falcon, and we never actually see a human being wearing the costume. In a behind-the-scenes featurette, we can see that the twin-pod cloud car was a model and that the pilots that we saw inside were small puppets. But a glimpse at those puppets shows that the action figure was accurate in its representation of this look. I never had this figure as a child, but I did have the twin pod cloud car. That's gonna be my new vocal warm-up. Red leather, yellow leather, twin pod cloud car. And I know it's gotten a lot of grief from Star Wars fans over the years, but I still like the way it looks. Or maybe I just like the color. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. Why does this even need 2 guys on board? To me, the cloud car pilot looks like if the Imperial Death Squad commander came in creamsicle flavor. He comes with 2 accessories, the pilot blaster, which looks like a power drill, and this tiny little comlink, the smallest of all of the accessories for any of the Kenner vintage Star Wars action figures. And it's cool, but why does this guy need a comlink? Who's he talking to? Oh, right, probably to the pilot in the other pod. Yeah, the design is a mess. But I think this guy looks cool, and the figure's in really good shape. And this edition brings my total figure count to 47. So let's check on the boys in the back-to-bath, eh? I brought them down from the roof, gave them another little scrub-a-dub, dried them out, here we are. And again, after just 8 hours in the sun, the results are undeniable. I might put them back up in the sun because the Biker Scout's arms are still a little darker than the body, but I probably won't put Farm Boy Luke up there. He lost a little of his paint coloring on his neck and chest, which I might touch up later. But overall, I'm pleased with the process, and I'll continue to use it to clean up other white figures that I add to this collection. Have you had good results with this process? Or do you have another secret for de-yellowing your vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures? Leave a comment down below. Also, if you like the theme song from this series, you can download the single now at bandcamp.com/Schaffer the Darklord. And until next time, if my Tauntaun freezes before I reach the first marker, then I'll see you in hell. Yah!
Collect all 79. Collect them all in the prize as we collect